Bali, we made it. So yeah, we are in Bali. We made it. Flew from the UK to Dubai and then Dubai to Bali. Grueling 24 hours, didn't sleep a wink on the plane, but we made it. We made it. That's the main thing. So there are a few reasons as to why I selected Bali out of anywhere in the world. Very privileged to work online, so have the ability to travel to different places and, you know, work business as usual in those places. So a big reason as to why I am here is because Bali is such an optimal environment. It is like 8th degree latitude, so super close to the equator. So from a health preservation perspective, whilst I endeavor to accumulate new muscle tissue, I thought this is just a phenomenal place to be. So yeah, optimal environment is number one. Second to that is Bali is a place where people understand this whole quantum stuff. People get the grounding, they get the sun exposure. People aren't using sun cream and all of that nonsense here. It is very sort of natural nature vibes. So yeah, wanted to scope it out for myself, see what it's like, and yeah, so far so good. Been here for 4 days, and the actual trip is for 1 month, but we will likely extend, but we'll see how we get on. Another reason as to why I'm here is because networking is good. You know, getting amongst like-minded people that are in my field and also, you know, embody what I'm all about in terms of the knowledge that I put out there. Fourth reason as to why is because it's a wicked place to get content. There's so many beaches, the gyms are sick, the weather's reliable, obviously in the season that I've come to Bali in. So yeah, loads of different reasons, and if I'm honest, so far, so good. So that's the reason as to why I'm here. I think it's going to be pretty handy to go over the cost of coming to Bali if you are a gym goer. So first of all, flights from the UK to Bali. I traveled from Birmingham to Dubai and then Dubai to Denpasar. You're looking at about $1,500. That was a Flex Plus with Emirates, which basically allows you to change the date of your return flight. That's something to consider as well. Again, this is all my experience. I'm not saying it's gospel. I may have cocked up some of my planning, I'm sure I have. But I found that you need to book a return flight because otherwise you run the risk of getting into the country and them denying you access. So the reason why I booked the Flex Plus with Emirates is because, as I've just said, it allows you to change the date of your return flight for free. And although I've booked a month here, it's very likely going to be extended. So that's why I paid to, you know, be able to change the date of the flight. So that's the flights for you. Now, accommodation, I find when you come to this side of the world from UK, Europe, a lot of people have this assumption that it's like super cheap for accommodation. I mean, in my experience, it isn't that cheap. You're not looking at like £300 for a wicked villa for a month. The place that I'm staying in is like, yeah, it's a decent little spot. It's near the gym that I obviously base the trip around, which is good, but it's not like, you know, super plush. And that was, yeah, 1.2. Flights, accommodation. One thing I'd missed off is the visa situation. So I tried to pay for a 30-day visa on the UK government website before I came here. That sent me to some Bali government website, filled out all my information, it just said error. So it wouldn't allow me to actually purchase the visa in advance. So what you've got to do is, and this is a massive ball ache, so be prepared for this. I found it was just long. After you've traveled for like almost 24 hours, the last thing you want to be doing is filling out shit on your phone to try and get yourself through the border, right? So I had to get to the airport, queue up, having taken a photo of a QR code on a little stool thing. Using that QR code, obviously on my phone, had to then fill out a form. That then allowed me to queue up in line to get the printed off version of the visa. So they'll give you a ticket, which is a ticketed version of the visa, and then you're through. Well, you think you're through. And then there's like a second gate, stall, whatever you want to call it, to go through. And the chap on the stall was saying that it needs to be on your phone. And I'd just queued up with the ticket, the visa ticket, for 20 minutes, only to then be told I can't get through because I don't have it on my phone. So I had to go back out. Bear in mind, the airport is hectic. It's not like UK airports where it's nice and controlled. I've never traveled to this side of the world, so, you know, people watching this may be like, you know, you're a bit of a schoolboy, but yeah, I've never traveled here, so I wasn't sort of used to the hecticness of the situation. So anyway, I had to come out of the queue up again, scan another QR code to then get this ticket visa onto my phone. And then I was able to get through, and it was just, yeah, it was long. So if you are traveling from Europe to Bali, do just know that. It is not fluid. It is not an easy thing to do after you've just traveled for almost 24 hours. Either that or I'm just flapping about. So in addition to flights, visa, accommodation, there's food. Again, in my opinion, as a gym goer, there's a bit of sort of a mismatch with the information that I was told about the place before coming here. People are like, oh, it's super, super cheap. Again, I don't find it to be that cheap. However, I have been shopping at a supermarket called Pepito. Apparently this is sort of like the M&S Waitrose equivalent over here because they have a lot of imported stuff. And I think that's right, but I'm yet to find out where to get good stuff at a decent price. That being said, in regards to the food, I think the food's quality from what I've seen. You can obviously order your food in. I don't like to do that because, you know, you don't know the hygiene of the kitchen. You don't know if they're actually using organic food. You don't know how long the food's been sat there, all of that sort of stuff. So I prefer to go to the supermarket, bring it back, and then offload the task to someone else. So I just asked the owner of the Airbnb if they knew anyone. They did. So I had this lady come around. She cooked my food for me. Wicked lady, shout out Atik. And she did a great job. So I'm probably going to continue with that throughout the rest of this trip. So that's the food situation. Flights, visa, accommodation, food, transport. So when I got to Bali, I wanted to just scope out the roads and scope out the paths that I will commonly be taking. So for example, going from this Airbnb to the gym, which is most of the time where I'm going. So I have been here for 4 days now and have a decent understanding as to how to get about the local area, the traffic. And so today I got a scooter, which is, that cost me 1.6 million per month, which equates to about £80. It's fucking dirt cheap. And to fill the tank, I did that again today. Well, not again, but I did that for the first time today, and it was 100,000, which is a fiver to fill the tank. So yeah, transport is dirt cheap. And if you do hire a scooter, as in a guy to pick you up on a scooter using the app Grab, which I would highly recommend you download before you come here, if you are coming here. And you can go 5 minutes down the road on the back of someone else's scooter for literally like 70p. It is so cheap. And I would highly suggest that you do jump on the back of someone else's scooter on Grab, as in a driver on Grab. It's like the Uber equivalent, because hiring a taxi out here, if you're going to and from in short distances, is just a mess. It's so much more quicker to just get around on scooters. So if you are fearful of the scooter situation, you kind of have no choice, in my opinion, out here. You've got to just take it on the chin and understand that people just catastrophize. English people particularly love to catastrophize. It isn't that bad. You know, people don't drive that fast. You don't drive over 30 miles per hour because the traffic's too, you know, hectic anyway. So, you know, if you fall off or you have a crash, touch wood, you know, it can't be that bad because you can't drive that fast. So that is transport. Now, the most important part, so the gyms. I am training at a gym called Nirvana, which is, it is a gym, but it's almost like a retreat as well. It's fucking insane, which you can see now. It's the best gym I've ever trained at. Not in terms of kit, like the kit isn't the best. I think it's, yeah, free motion, but it's like, I sort of sit, in terms of me as a gym user, I'm not like a Benoist guy. I'm not massive into the bodybuilding. I like the natural element as well. I like to train outside as much as I can, and this gym allows me to do that, which is why I booked this gym. In terms of how much I paid for the gym, I think it was about £150 per month. So not cheap. You're looking at like sort of David Lloyd price, but it's so much better than David Lloyd. You've got everything that you could want. A sick gym, inside and outside. Infrared sauna, traditional sauna, steam, cold plunges, a really nice pool area, the whole shebang. So, in my opinion, well worth investing into a good gym when you do come here. Other gyms that are a little bit more bodybuilding centric, you're looking at around the same price, maybe a little bit cheaper. I think Body Factory, which is another popular one, is actually more expensive than Nirvana, about £175, don't quote me on that. And then Elite Fit or Elite Gym, whatever it's called, I think that was about £125. But again, don't quote me on it, I can't fully remember, because Nirvana was sort of like my only option. So yeah, that is what you need to know in terms of the cost of traveling to Bali.